thing, and it's dope. So look, guys, tonight we're going to talk about Trump and Kamala did a full speech. We're going to unpack that sucker because I want to get to that. We got some other stuff as well. We got some crazy stuff, man. And I want people to kind of get an idea. I want people to understand, like, more than just cover the news cycle, right? I want to also give people some stuff to think about when it comes to how our political environment is coordinated. Because I think some folks ain't really getting it all the way. You know what I'm saying? I want them to kind of like peek behind the curtain and kind of get a real glimpse, like, be able to figure this stuff out. I got an announcement today. I saw this on Twitter, plus Buck sent it to me. The officers that shot Breonna Taylor's house up, I forget how many shots they fired totally. I think it was like 30 or 40. I don't know. It was a lot of shots. They killed her in their own home. How many people knew that they made up a bogus warrant in order to even go in her house? How many people knew that? When we had people like Candace Owens talking about they was dealing drugs in the house and all this stuff, we had people like blaming Breonna Taylor for her own murder. There were cops who have been charged with various felonies for fabricating a warrant because they didn't go through the proper channels to get a warrant because they didn't have any evidence that she did anything. So they should have never even been at her house. Legally, they should have never been at her house. Well, there was a ruling that was decided today, handed down by the judge, that they're not going to charge these officers with that. So it says the federal judge, he threw out the major felony charges against two former Louisville officers accused of falsifying a warrant that led police to Breonna Taylor's door before they fatally shot her. And I know what you think is thinking, Tim. See, they must not have falsified the warrant, man, because the judge just threw it out. That's what you're thinking? Wrong. Nah, you're wrong, Johnson. That's not it. They did falsify the warrant. It's just, they say that's not why she got killed. She didn't get killed because they falsified the warrant. I mean, them falsifying the warrant is the reason why they were able to come to her house in the first place. And without falsifying the warrant, none of this happens. But since they came to her house illegally on a bogus warrant, since her boyfriend shot at them when they did, they're going to put it all on the boyfriend. They say it's the boyfriend's fault because he shot at them while they carried out a bogus warrant. Now, they got other charges like conspiracy, lying about the warrant and shit, but none of those are serious. They were looking at potentially life in prison if the judge believed that their warrant led to her death. But the judge says, nah, it led to them being there, but it didn't lead to her death. They could have shot her telepathically in their own minds without being there. I know that's kooky, right? He didn't say that, but he might as well have said that because what he's saying is damn stupid. So you mean to tell me the guy, these officers manufactured, they made up this warrant to go harass somebody in their home at 3 o'clock in the morning, whatever it was, with no evidence. They also found no evidence. They found nothing in that apartment. You know that, right? And they get to not be responsible for her death criminally. See, that's why when Donald Trump is on the stump and he's like, I'm going to give complete total immunity to cops. And I'm like, I know y'all want to freak out, but they already have complete and total immunity. There you go right there. It's called qualified immunity. Well, they're going to have unqualified immunity. Now we're doing a word game. If you can make up a warrant and then somebody die because you did that, because you made the fake warrant, then lie about it when they investigated it, and still not be held accountable legally, like criminally for that, Come on. Look, put it this way. If a regular citizen, because you ever heard about swatting? So like if a citizen's like, it was this thing that was going on, people were doing this a lot a few years ago, where they would call the police and say there was a hostage situation at your house because they wanted to prank you or they just didn't like you. They would call and say, this guy's got a bomb or there's a kidnapping situation. There's a hostage being held at this guy's house. Then they give them your address. A couple of times this has happened. If the feds came there or if the SWAT team came there, they would come there expecting something crazy to be going on. So they're coming in hot and heavy, right? If something happened to you, if you get killed, or if you get hurt, they're going to find out who made that phone call. They're going to find out who made that false phone call. And that individual, plain private citizen, will be held accountable for that. Because without them making that fake phone call that sent those feds to that house, this never would have happened. But since these are officers who did it, nothing happens. I mean, they might get a misdemeanor or something. They lost their jobs, but I mean, criminally, nothing happens. So that's why I said, yeah, as pissed off as it sounds, Trump's talking about this full qualified immunity. Cops already have qualified immunity, man. This full federal immunity, they already have it. So for federal officers, Trump doesn't control state police. But anyway, back to my point. No executive controls state police. No president. That's why we call it the United States of America. That's why people complain about abortion. Because now it's to the states. And the states get to decide if they're going to allow, what they're going to allow, all that stuff. Anyway, back to the point. My condolences always to the Breonna Taylor family, man, and to all the other families who are touched by this type of violence that occurs. We understand there's all types of violence that occurs, and we're pissed off about it all. If an officer does something illegal that puts your life in jeopardy, I think that officer should be punished. The same way I think if some private citizen does something illegally that causes you to lose your life, they should be punished criminally, just like anybody else. All right, so yeah. That's one of the reasons why I sometimes avoid talking about those stories, is it just really gets my head tight. Really ticks me off. When we talking about different little, like who's getting hosed politically, we're going to talk about RFK and Vivek Ramaswamy and Van Jones and Tim Walz and Kamala Harris. It is life or death. But, some of it is just politics. You know what I'm saying? It's just whenever I'm talking about these types of issues, it just, I'm human. Takes a toll. Here we go. You guys ready for the other part of the show? We get into the politics. What's up, fam? How you doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. Yo, man. All right, so we, guess I can move that off the docket. I don't know exactly how this took place, but it took place. Vivek Ramaswamy and Van Jones are somewhere, and they're having a conversation. Maybe it was at the convention. Maybe it's like in a green room or in some room related to the convention, because I know they both were there. It's too hot. All right, so let me set this up. Let me try to do this because I'm going to use this as a clip. Vivek Ramaswamy and Van Jones were at the DNC convention. I'm assuming that's where this is from. And somehow, some way, Vivek Ramaswamy, he corners Van Jones. And he asks him some man-to-man questions on some serious business. Check it out.
tell you one thing. If we disagree, but people that have to be without the hate law.
Just walking by.
Can I tell you a story, man? I gotta go down here. So we got death threats. We got death threats after the thing you said. So that's Van Jones for you.
Okay, now I want to pause right there because I don't know if you can hear that because it was kind of cluttered. It looked like to me that this is what it looked like to me. It looked to me like Van Jones is blowing Vivek off, right? From what I can gather, the body language, sort of how Van Jones was kind of like hitting him with the shoulder, you know, because like Vivek's not a little dude. Vivek's like about 6 foot. Van Jones is tall. I think Van Jones is like 6'3", and he's kind of big dogging him right now. You know, it's kind of like, I'm the big guy, and I ain't got to deal with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm Van Jones, you know? I cry on stage, you know, but I don't cry in real life in front of people, you know what I'm saying? I just do that for my buttermilk biscuits. I do that because, you know, it suits the narrative. That's what CNN want to see out of me, but I'm really a big black man. And I ain't got time, Vivek. I got to bounce, son. So...
I'll tell you one thing.
So then he's like, look, man, I got to bounce, man. I got to go, man. I got babes on deck, you know? And Vivek's trying to talk to him. And Vivek's like, you know, I got a bone to pick with you. And Van Jones is like, well, you know, throw the bones away. You know what I'm saying? I got to go, man. It's real good talking to you, though. I'm being cordial. I got to roll.
Just walking by.
He's like, hold that. You know what I'm saying? Hold whatever your feelings you got. Just hold that. And Vivek puts him on blast. He's like, no, I may be Republican, but I ain't soft, dog. Check this out. And then Vivek says...
Can I tell you a story, man? I gotta go down here. So we got death threats. We got death threats after the thing you said. So that's Van Jones for you.
And Vivek says it like to the room. He says, hey, just so you know, Van Jones, we got death threats from what you said that time. Me and my family got death threats. Okay? Just want you to know that. That little thing you said on the air that time. You said, that's Van Jones, everybody. That's Van Jones for you. And this causes Van Jones to think, uh-oh, I don't look so good right now. Maybe I should go back and listen to Vivek because... Yeah, he just said that to a homeroom full of people, and they are filming. He saw the camera. This ain't no spy camera he got on. Whoever's filming this, you can obviously see as a camera. So then they're going to have a conversation.
We're on air, and you said that he's a demagogue, he's dangerous, he's going to be around for 50 years, long after Donald Trump's gone. So the first time in the campaign, we get a death threat of a man who wants to show up in New Hampshire. Thankfully, the police intervened, got it. The next day, back-to-back days. So my wife's scared enough. The next day we wake up, it's 3 a.m. We get a call from him. He's my security guard saying, thank God you picked up because we just got a call that somebody showed up at your house and has 4 dead bodies out. So that's within 48 hours. And I'm not going to attribute that to your comment because whatever it is. But for our family, you know what? Publicly I didn't do it, but for our family, yeah, it pissed us the heck off, actually. And so the reality is, I don't try to engage in rhetoric that gets other people in danger of bodily harm, but I do think that if somebody's going to, even if you didn't intend to provoke that kind of ire on my family, yeah, in that week it landed with me. Now, at the same time, am I going to...
Test.
Do I want to set a good example for people in this country of what discourse looks like? I do. And in the heat of a presidential campaign, and I've been open about it since I left the campaign as well. My competitive spirits, sometimes stop us from being able to have the level of discourse we want. And I think you were wrongfully pushed out of the White House for your comments around 9/11, way back when as well. They were misconstrued, exactly. So what I will tell you is this.
Call yourself.
Yep. So I just wanted you to know that backdrop. That's my personal song. Don't give it to anybody else.
I will call you in a couple of days and apologize to your wife.
Okay, well, we don't need to do any of this on air.
But I will call your wife and apologize.
And you know what we can do? Is we can turn the page and maybe have a chapter to demonstrate what actual good discourse looks like in this country. And that's not just on you, that's on me as well. Okay, that's on two of us.
I'm really sorry.
No, hey, it's classy of you to say so, and I hope we can build a friendship. I really mean that.
And I'll call you.
Please do. Okay. Thank you. Take care. Take care.
Okay. Now, I tried to play a cleaned up version. I did a little editing to try to make that a little bit more audible. It seemed like it was pretty low. Does anybody hear that? Hope you guys can hear it. Was it okay? Okay, so yeah, it looks like some people had a little bit of problem here. And check this out, guys. So Vivek Ramaswamy, what he's saying is that Van Jones did not look like he was disagreeing with what happened. I think he agreed that he made this statement. Somewhere on CNN, Van Jones said, yeah, the problem really isn't Donald Trump. The problem is this guy here, Vivek Ramaswamy. This guy's dangerous. He's going to be around another 30 years, another 40 years. This is a danger. And like the next day, Vivek said he got death threats, credible death threats to his home. And then the next day, he got more death threats and got somebody, like a security guy, called him and his wife like 3 a.m, like, yo, you okay? Yeah, well, we just got this guy, good thing you picked up, or whatever, and this guy had this and had that, or whatever. So they got some credible death threats that really had him and his wife very, very paranoid. And Vivek said, I'm not trying to say it was directly related to what you said, but what I'm saying is, I try not to put people in harm's way when we're having political discourse and disagreements. He said, I do remember back when you were something happened to Van, I don't know, something about 9/11, you were taken out of context and people were coming after you. So Van Jones looks like he leans in and says, I apologize. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry about that. And Vivek was gracious, like, look, man, no, it's all good, man. I just hope that we can have a dialogue. We can chop it up, whatever. I'm gonna try to do better. You try to do better. I'm also trying to do better, hold myself accountable. And we can, hopefully that we can, be cool. So Van initiates giving him a phone number, and it looks like they agree to talk offline and just have a dialogue. You know what I'm saying? And Vivek said he would really look forward to that and hopefully become friendly. And it looked like a good exchange at that point. And I got to say, man, I have mixed feelings about it. I really do, because, I think Van was totally wrong to say that. But I get what he was saying. It's just that, okay, put it this way. I don't believe Van Jones, obviously I don't believe Van Jones said it to put fear into Americans who would do something crazy. Or anybody do something crazy based on his comments on CNN. Anybody can take anything that you say and act on it. If somebody ain't wrapped too tight, if somebody's going through something in their life, I mean, a large amount of Americans are medicated, and a large amount of Americans are ticked off about politics anyway. All right. And if they ain't medicated on an actual medication from a doctor, they self-medicated. Some people gotta go for walks and do meditation, real talk. So it's a lot going on, man. This stuff with this Kamala race, where everybody's talking like everything okay, and joy this and joy that. Yo, it's people out here who are really going through some serious stuff. And all this fake smile and all this fake, that's not really getting to the cusp of really what's happening. So I don't want to blame Van for it, but I gotta say, man, I'm glad to see the dialogue. I'm kind of up in the air. Now that I think about it, I'm up in the air, guys. I want to come out harsh on Van on this, but it's like, I don't think he intentionally did that. Like, I'm sure he didn't say, go see about Vivek. Go handle business. Like, nothing like that. Just saying this guy's a threat. He meant political threat. Like, this guy, he can do stuff with the party. Maybe Van was underestimating how some people are going to rock in the Republican Party. And how they may perceive Vivek Ramaswamy. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. People giving you a business card, people do that type of thing all the time. I don't put much stock in people giving you phone numbers. It's like I say, man, politics is Hollywood for ugly folks. That's what they say. That's what's been said. Can't make it in Hollywood, go ahead and be a reporter, be a news anchor. You can't make it as news anchor, do radio. You know what I'm saying? I tend to believe I have a radio disposition, a radio appearance. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a serious FM face. Hey, man, it is what it is, man. You got to be one of the beautiful people. It's what it is, man. It ain't my fault. It's God. God. Shout out to Craig Facts. So anyway, yeah, man. But I, know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give props to Vivek. Vivek dealt with that straight up. He went and he addressed it. Opportunity in the same space. He called Van Jones out. Van Jones listened. He didn't go, security, like Roland did. Security, security. Keep on pushing him off. Like people, I covered a story last week about Roland Martin being confronted by Jamal Green, an activist and organizer out of Chicago. It was sort of the same thing. But Roland was worse than Van Jones. Roland did an entire segment, it seemed, where he had Jamal's face up on the screen and his Twitter account up on the screen. He had 4 people on the panel. He was calling this young man a dummy, an idiot, a dumbass, and all these things, just because they differed on something politically. And he happened to, and Roland happened to be coming to Chicago. I guess Roland don't realize people have cars. When a young man approached him in the church, he waited until the service was over. He sat in the church the whole time. He approaches Roland in the church. He has a camera running, so he's not going to do nothing to Roland. Everybody's so scared. This young man approaching Roland. Roland's 60 years old. But Roland's the one who put this guy's likeness on the screen and roasted his ass while 4 of his other henchmen on the panel laughed. You must let us saw the segment. Y'all know how Roland get. Oh, this dumbass, these simple Simon dumbasses and all this stuff. He was going off on this young dude. This young guy was not trying to hurt Roland. Why am I talking about this? I do this, you know what I'm saying? I'm on one story, I'm talking about another story. Y'all don't even know what I'm talking about, do y'all? The point is this. If somebody addresses you, if somebody confronts you, deal with it. If they don't escalate, don't punk out. If you've been talking mess, I talk about D.L. Hughley, right? I've made several segments about D.L. Hughley. Called him a shield, called him this, called him that, right? I have not gone personal with regards to his family. I'm nothing like Monique. It's been about politics. It's different. I'm not going personal on this man's personal life. I ain't talking about his wife, his daughters, none of that. This is about politics, but still, be it as it may, he may feel a certain kind of way about that. If I was to perform somewhere, do something, and he walked up and he wanted to talk, let me talk to you, bro. I talked to him. If he was like, yo, you was a little hard on me, I say, explain to me how I was hard on you. We'd have a conversation, just like Van Jones just did, just like Vivek just did. What I would not do is go, security, security. That's me. But I'm myself. I'm myself. Good job, Vivek. And like I said, guys, see, one of the things about this channel that I pride myself on, we try our best to call balls and strikes. We try our best to call it fair. You know what I'm saying? That's what we try to do here. So I'm not a big Vivek Ramaswamy guy. I don't think I've ever made positive content about him. But I find in this instance that what he did, I agree with. In the way he handled it, I agree with it. And I'm giving him his props about that. Because you could be fair and disagree politically. I've disagreed with Van Jones on many things, but I do acknowledge that he did stop. I felt like he was giving, I'm the big guy vibe at first, but then he's, oh, okay, this guy may have a relevant point. Let me listen. He did not interrupt. He didn't say, I got to go, man. I really would like to talk to you, but I got to, because the people, they do this. This is what they do. They think they are really Hollywood celebrities. If you've never been around these people, these big name folks, a lot of them do act like they are Hollywood celebrities. I met some of them at certain conventions that I've attended. Anyway, let's keep it moving, guys. I just want to say that this was pretty good to see. Let me know what you think in the comment section. That's just my opinion. You know what I'm saying? My opinion. And it's just on the backdrop of what I just got through covering, where people just assume because it's black men that it's going to turn violent, and it didn't turn violent. It just didn't. But if somebody's mad at you and want to talk to you, and you don't want to talk to them when you've been talking about them, they might get a little aggressive. When you say, hey, we need to talk, you've been talking about me on your show, I should be like, hold on a second. Yeah, okay, hold on. Yeah, what I was saying was, hold on. Yeah, like I was saying, I don't know why. These guys crazy, you know what I'm saying? Let me stretch our conversation out a little bit longer. Let him sit there till he leave, because, I don't need to, you know what I'm saying? You know who I am. You know how I do it. Then he's like, hold up, man. I'm right here, man. That's what y'all saw. And of course, some people defended it. Well, defended Rowland. I don't think he was defensible in that position. But that's just me. I'm a little biased because he's also threw a lot of dirt on other people with his 1.3 million subscribers, dumping on a guy who don't even have a YouTube channel. He don't even make content. Jamal don't even make content. He on Twitter, but he ain't. Come on, guys. Rowland got his own app, his own network, been on CNN, MSNBC, or PBS, or whatever the hell. All right, let's keep going, guys. My bad. I don't even be caught up there. Now, we've been covering, and like I said, if you tuned into the show yesterday, we did a wrap-up of the DNC convention. We covered some stuff on that. And one of the issues, or one of the people that we've been covering, was the vice presidential pick of Kamala Harris. Her running mate, Tim Walz. And someone sent me this on Twitter. They was like, Tim, look at Tim. I was like, Tim, look at Tim. I said, oh, you mean Tim Walz? You mean Kamala's running mate? They was like, yeah. They were like, maybe you had a good point, brother. See, I've been saying that I don't know if Tim Walz is exactly the guy he's been portraying himself to be. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's a phony. Okay, now people are like, Tim, he did a Medicare thing, or he did this and this in Minnesota. He had a policy that was great for people, and I'm like, okay. I'm just going on the way I see him act. Maybe this has always been his plan, and, I don't know. But anyway, I got a clip that was taken at the DNC. And there's been a lot of noise made about his son, because during Tim Walz's acceptance speech of being on a ticket, he formally accepted being on the ticket. His son was in the crowd. His son was sitting there sitting next to the daughter. Son sitting next to the daughter, sitting next to the mom, and the son was having an emotional moment, right? He was very emotional, was very visible, and he was very moved by his dad, to the point he was standing up and he was pointing, that's my dad, and he was, tears and crying, and he was really on one. And I defended him, because people were saying, that's weird. Look at his son. What's wrong with him? Why is he losing his damn mind? You know what I'm saying? And they were making jokes about it because, well, Tim Walz has been making jokes about Republicans. He's been saying that J.D. Vance and Trump are weird. And all the supporters say, if you're talking about Trump, you're talking about me. You're talking about J.D. Vance, you're talking about me. So they look at it like when Tim Walz was saying Republicans are weird, and now all of cable news media has been using that talking point because, they all basically fall in line with the Democratic Party, who have all fallen in line with Kamala Harris. So anyway, they got a bone to pick with Tim Walz. So now they're like, oh, you think we weird? Look at your son. Lose his mind. Well, I didn't think that was cool. Like I said, family's off limits. Unless family does something crazy like, really, I mean, really, I don't think you should even involve family at all, unless they do something newsworthy. Now, if you do something newsworthy, okay, it's relevant. But if all you are is a family member reacting to your dad becoming on a presidential ticket, I don't think it's I don't think it's ethical to cover that or to make fun of that. Okay, that's just me. That being said, here goes a clip that was sent to me that shows Tim Walz not acting like the greatest dad in the world that night live at that convention. You be the judge. Okay, so here it is, guys. There is no sound, so I can't get in trouble. And if you notice here, it's the way Tim Walz is handling his son's hand. It's like yanking him, kinda. And I know it's not a big deal, but if you put it in slow motion, it looks bad. Like if you yanked your wife like that, people would think you were an abusive husband. You know what I'm saying? And I get that. So I'm like, okay, is that something like if I was walking with Mrs. Black and I did her like that, people be like, hey, what's wrong with this guy? People be sitting there mail like, you need to leave that Tim Black, because they only think black men are abusive anyway. It's just, 300 years of U.S. propaganda that black men are so mean and, violent. Kind of plays right into that. Some people even use it against me in the political world. Yeah. And some of those people were black. But anyway, back to my point, man. Look, guys, I don't know if we can really extrapolate that. That sounded kind of a leap. It turns out, I believe that the son has special needs. And look, guys, it looks bad. I'm not going to lie. It does look bad. Look, now that I know his son may be special needs, now it makes me mad. Now it upsets me. Now it sits with me the wrong way because it's like, see, this would have been an opportunity for Tim Walz to conduct himself in a way that really would have made points with me. Yeah, see, I do this for a living. This is what I do, guys. I don't do this and go do something else. This is me. I've been a speaker all my life. I started speaking at church when I was like 10. Real talk. So I'm used to doing this, and I'm like, the way I communicate, the way I do the whole thing, it is what it is. So I know just being a good speaker does not mean you're a good person. Just because you can crack a joke or come across folksy does not mean that's who you are. If that's the case, Hakeem Jeffries will be president. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm just saying, that's how we got Obama. Don't mean Obama. Obama dropped bombs till we ran out of bombs. He was an excellent speaker. So I don't just let that be the way that I judge what kind of person you are based on your speaking ability or your charisma or all that stuff. And I know, and I hear the argument about, Tim, it's about the policy, it's about the policy. I know, but for me to trust you on policy, no matter what your track record is, I got to feel good about you. And let me tell you something. If now that I know that Tim Walz's son is special needs, if he would have showed him love in that moment, and I know, guys, I get it. I get it. I'm not there. I'm not in their family. Right? And I'm armchair quarterbacking. You know what I'm saying? But if Tim Walz would have shown some extra love to his son, if he would have embraced him right there, if he would have put his arm around him, it did something that was touching, that would have went a long way for me. Now that I know his son has special needs. But see, looking at that, you can deduce whatever you want in your head. And I know it's wrong, guys. I'm not going to say it's the right thing to do, but I can't help but paint a narrative in my head. And it's like, Tim Walz, in my opinion, what this gives me, the vibe it gives me, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, and it's okay. I usually don't like y'all disagreeing with me, but if you got to, you got to. I'm being honest. See how honest I am? Almost to a fault. Most people say, I don't care if you disagree with me. I do kinda, you know? Here's the thing. The narrative that this gives me based on this short clip that's like 15 seconds is Tim Walz is like, this is my moment. This is my moment. How dare you acting like an ass when it's my moment? In the crowd like a fool. Get over here. Embarrass me in front of these people. This is my time to shine. I done put up with your goofy ass all this time. Told you to get over here. Hi, everybody. hey, I'm so happy to be here. Jesus. Oh, yes. Kamala's everything. This is amazing. What we're going to be able to do. Ooh, yes. I know there's going to be people that dismiss this. I know there's going to be people that disagree with it. I get it. And I know it's wrong to make a judgment like that at a 15-second clip. I know it is. I done put all that together. But see, when it was time to be unscripted, when it was time to be just you, he was. Now put that in your pipe and smoke it. Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. When it was time to be unscripted, when it wasn't something to read, when he ain't doing his stump speech that he's done probably 15 times now, when it was time to go off script, be yourself. What did he do? I could be wrong, man. But he coached football that time. He helped the old lady cross the street, and he did this, he did that. He saved the caddy he saved a kitty cat from the drain. It was a kitty cat stuck on the drain in 1986, and he reached down and picked the kitty cat up and was like, "Hey, kitty cat," and put the kitty cat on the sidewalk. Yeah, I know. He also did this. Okay, so this ain't the totality of the man. Okay, I'm not even saying this is all who he is. 15 seconds of whatever is not who you are. Okay, whether good or bad, right? We are complex individuals. It's a lot more that makes us up than that. It's just I've been hearing a lot of people say, Tim Walz is a good man. Tim Walz is a good man. Since no one knows him, people are trying to get to know him. It's okay to be skeptical. We've been fooled before. And maybe that's what's going on with me, man. Maybe the fact I've been fooled before has me gun shy. And that should be okay. That should be acceptable. Nothing wrong with being skeptical. Sometimes skeptical will save your life. Those assuming people, things happen to them sometimes. They assume it's okay. Sure, no, I'm sure this is, yeah. You poured this drink for me? Oh, thanks. Wake up 3 days later. Where am I? You're in that little city in Mexico. You are cartel. You are cartel footage. You are cartel puppet. That's happening every day, by the way. Be skeptical, people. Be skeptical. Be skeptical. Okay? And don't drink no drinks. Somebody make you a drink, be like, you gonna go ahead and have that one. Let me. I pour my own drink. How about that? Hey, how about I pour my own drink? Since we just met, I don't know your ass. All right, guys, let's keep it moving. So, RFK Jr., there was an announcement today from RFK Jr. Damn, I had him on the screen. Yeah, There was an announcement today from RFK Jr., and everybody saw this one comment. It was like, okay, what's going to happen? He's going to drop out, and doggone it, he did. And RFK dropped out of the race, folks. And I'm trying to tell you, RFK gave a magnificent speech. Magnificent speech to the point where it requires its own show. I got to take time and go through the whole damn speech, line by line, stop and go, point out stuff. We got to have that conversation, man. His speech was a tour de force. And you know how I know it was know how I know it's very effective? Because Democrats are already taking a dump on it. Yeah, as soon as it landed, they had Democrats discrediting his speech. That means it was really good. Yeah. When they throw you under the bus like that, when they attack you right off the bat, yeah, that means you scored some points. So he said he didn't drop out of the race. He, what's the word for it? Suspended his race. He suspended his campaign. That's the word for it. Here goes some words from his speech. Now, this is just the intro to his speech. Let's check it out together.
Of the sitting president. I'm sorry to keep everybody waiting. 16 months ago, in April of 2023, I launched my campaign for President of the United States. I began this journey as a Democrat, the party of my father, my uncle, the party which I pledged my own allegiance to long before I was old enough to vote. I attended my first Democratic convention at the age of 6 in 1960. And back then, the Democrats were the champions of the Constitution, of civil rights. The Democrats stood against authoritarianism, against censorship, against colonialism, imperialism, and unjust wars. We were the party of labor, of the working class. The Democrats were the party of government transparency and the champion of the environment. Our party was the bulwark against big money interests and corporate power. True to its name, it was the party of democracy. As you know, I left that party in October because it had departed so dramatically from the core values that I grew up with. It had become the party of war, censorship, corruption, big pharma, big tech, big ag, and big money. When it abandoned democracy by canceling the primary to conceal the cognitive decline of the sitting president, I left the party to run as an independent.
All right. So that was like RFK just describing why he left. So people, because I know people have been asking that for quite some time. He also went on to say, a lot more than that. It was like another 40 minutes of speaking. But right after this clip, the next clip that I saw of RFK Jr. was this clip. Let's see.
I don't think too many of you people have heard of him. He's very low-key. He's a very low-key person, but he's highly respected. He is a great person. I've known him for so long. For the past 16 months, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
Yeah, I hate when they play music, man. It's not licensed. Damn. Hoping to get a message this time, Buck. Looks like they're still playing music, guys. I got to kind of guess when they stop with the music. Yeah, I think they're still playing, man. They're bringing it out, huh? So, yeah, RFK comes out. I don't know if Trump's talking. I can't see. They're so damn far away. I guess that's music time. So I really want to know what you guys think about this. And very obviously, it looks like there's an endorsement going on. And there's talk of RFK Jr. being in the cabinet.
I don't think too many.
Well, you know what? That's it. Okay, I didn't include anything else from it. So that's enough, right? So it looks like, so what happened was definitely what I can say, what I can report, even without watching the entire speech. RFK is out. He suspended his campaign. He's endorsed Donald Trump. And they were talking about some opportunity for RFK to participate in the cabinet if Trump becomes, obviously, only if Trump's elected does it supply. And he's going to focus on Health and Human Services, I think it was, but I think it's Health and Human Services. Someone also said CIA. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think he wants to do anything with CIA. I think the deep state is like, this, the thing, the buzzword people been using for the last 3 years, right? How that needs to reel in. We need to reel those guys in. But I did hear Trump say he's going to release all the information, all data, everything on the assassination of the Kennedys and also his assassination attempt. Like, these are things he want to do when he becomes president. But anyway, so let me see. Now, what do I think about this? What do I think? And of course, I want to know what you think, folks. Wow. I think this helps Trump. I don't see how it doesn't help Trump. I feel like this perfect timing. Right after the DNC convention, if Kamala Harris got a bump, this will help mitigate that bump. And I'm not sure exactly what RFK was polling at, but whatever he was polling at, more is more, right? And if those voters are going to just come over to Trump, who knows? So I don't know how much of a bump it is, but the momentum of it, I think it matters. I think it matters. I think it's a bonus for Trump. And the issues that RFK talks about are issues that are relevant to Trumpers or MAGA supporters. So there it is. I know there's a lot of people that are online who supported RFK Jr. And I don't know how that translates out in the real world, but I think it's going to matter when it comes to push and shove. It's going to matter how this happens or how this plays out. It's going to matter to the campaigns. And I know I saw that Dr. West did an interview, and he divulged in his interview. And, I don't know why I didn't push it further. When I interviewed Cornel West a month ago, he was telling me that the Democrats were offering him things. People had offered him stuff, but he was not interested. And then I think it went a little further. He won't get into specifics, but it looks like Dr. Cornel West was offered something by the Democrats, which he dismissed. So I don't know, man. I think it's getting down to it, man. It's getting down to something. So RFK is out. It looks like he definitely is. He's supporting Trump. He said he doesn't agree with everything Trump supports, but they agree on enough things. And one thing I'm sure RFK is against is the DNC. And he, as you heard him point out, that he feels they installed Kamala, didn't run a primary. It's very undemocratic the way they conducted themselves. And yeah, I find it hard to disagree with the brother. I think he's right. All right. Where we at, fam? Michelle says, I love this plot twist. Yeah, man, it's getting very interesting, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, talking about vaccines, talking about health, talking about big pharma, talking about big agriculture. Yeah, big ag. Yeah, man, this is serious stuff. These are things people should be concerned about. It matters, right? And yeah, I'm all about shaking up the status quo. And if that's what they're trying to do, that's good. But you know how it is. So many people are so divided by the Democrats, Republicans, they're missing the forest for the trees, man. Look, we want the best we can get. Out of any given situation, we want the best we can get. So that's how I am. I'm all for whatever's gonna be best for the country. And questioning these big organizations, whether they be governmental or private corporations or administrations, I say we should do that. I don't know why these people are so content or intent on camouflaging and defending off Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party. Oh, that's right, money. That's right, it's money. That's what it is. G. Hagan says she's done now. Yep. Could y'all do me a favor, hit like for us? I keep forgetting to do that. I just saw Side of the Times saying it's hit like. Could you guys hit like real quick for us and help this boost up in the algorithm a bit? I appreciate you guys. I gotta admit, man, you guys have been doing that lately. Thank you. I appreciate y'all, man. Let me get this off the screen. Toby says share it. Yeah. Yo, she's both the conservative and the liberal. Trey says, on the truth behind Project 2025. I don't know what that means, Johnson. Oh, is this guy that's been trolling me on Twitter? Hey, this guy's got to go. He's the guy that's been trolling me on Twitter, man. Yeah, I'm glad I saw you, bro. You got to go. This guy's been trolling me on Twitter. Yeah, this guy's really interested in Dr. Cordell West. You're right. But what I do find is funny. It's a couple. I try to tell you, Buck, some of these people are not good people, man. I know you think they are. I know, because you're a good guy, Buck. Some of these people are dirty, man. That guy's an annoying guy from Twitter. But check this out, guys. Check this out. It's a lot of conversation, right, about, but you know what, real quick, that's how you know when you're effective. You're effective when people leave one platform where they were bugging you, harassing, and trolling, then they come to another platform and do the same thing. Or the people just keep coming. Either they're paid or they're just trolls. But it's interesting, right? You know you're effective. If they're trolls, it's interesting because they're doing all this activity to keep up with you. They could be somewhere on a channel that they support, that they agree with, but no, they rather come to a channel they disagree with. Think about it. They rather come to a channel they disagree with and comment negative comments. Who watches a show they don't like to talk mess? I don't watch any shows I don't like. I know I'm crazy, right? I know I'm sure you sit at home on HBO like, I hate this show. Let me watch it. I totally disagree with it. See, I know that's not normal activity. So when I see a person and I keep seeing them and everything I see is negative and they keep coming back, I mean, you ain't got to be a rocket scientist. Why would a person watch something they don't like? It's like YouTube, man. It'd be different if it was paid subscription like YouTube. I mean, HBO. You might be like, oh, I pay for this. I better find something. But this is free. And it's like thousands of channels they could be on right now, but they choose to be on a channel that they fundamentally politically disagree with. They're not here to help the algorithm. Anyway, speaking of helping the algorithm, guys, there has been this guy on CNN that's been killing it. When I say he's been killing it, I don't mean the Democrats. It's a Republican that's been killing it. In fact, he said some things that I've been saying. And I'm like, what about people say I sound like a Republican? But it's just true. It's not about Republican or Democrat, conservative or liberal. It's about truth. Like when I say, hey, man, Kamala said she's going to make these changes. Why do you need to make changes? I thought things were great. Wasn't that what you and Biden was just saying a month ago? Weren't y'all just bragging how great things were? Now you're like, I'm going to make changes. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. Now changes need to be made. Anyway, so I want to check this guy out, guys. This guy is very interesting. Here goes his first video of ripping him a new one.
And I think this whole convention has really been built on trying to get people to get comfortable with the presidency without really knowing how it would operate. I mean, a lot of what we know about Harris comes from her own record, her voting record in the Senate, liberal, her statements when she ran for president, very liberal, and her actions is working for Joe Biden, which resulted in a mid-30s approval rating for the Biden-Harris administration. Now, through anonymous spokespeople, a lot of that's been attempted to be walked back. Nothing we've heard this week and nothing we heard last night would tell you what would they do if they got elected president. So I as a voter, I think we need to hear a little bit more about that. All the things we heard last night from Oprah to everything else is about, hey, she's got the right vibe, so let's just vote for it and see what happens. To me, that's not quite good enough. I mean, she's obviously come a long way in the polls from where Biden was, but to get over the hump, I really do think you got to tell people, what would your actions be? The one policy she has unveiled has been panned across the board by economists and media alike since she did it on Friday. So I think she's going to have to get a little more serious about what would you do as the president.
Let me ask you about.
So that was like the first one. And I was like, wow, this guy is on to something. Now, I saw it earlier. I say, this is excellent stuff right here. So that was one where he was calling him out. And I got to admit, man, he's making very solid points. I mean, it is what it is, right? He's not lying. She ain't really running on nothing. And people are making an argument now, she shouldn't have to. Trump's horrible, so why should she have to be running on stuff? Remember Elizabeth Warren? I heard someone actually say, remember when Elizabeth Warren ran, she had all these white papers on all these policies, and it didn't help her one bit. Yeah, but Elizabeth Warren was Elizabeth Warren. You know what I'm saying? When people get interested in you, they want to be able to go to your website and see stuff besides donations. Places to put their credit card number. I mean, I got a website. It's got more on it than that. And I didn't raise $400 million. I'm just saying. You go to my Patreon, I'll be like, join me for $5. And it's got like 5,000 videos on it. All in one place with no ads. It's like, you know what I'm saying? That's not YouTube. It's Patreon. By the way, you should go join me on Patreon, $5. Starting at $5. You can go 10, big spender. 20 if you're feeling crazy. Wow! $20 a month. But what I'm saying is, yeah. So I agree with this guy. Kamala isn't running on anything, and she hasn't had to run on anything. She's running on, ta-da! Look at me! I am woman! You know what Oprah said? Ta-da! I am woman! Hear me roar! You get a president, and you get a president, and you get a president, and you get a president. Freedom for you, and freedom for you, and freedom for you. Everybody gets freedom! All right, so he didn't stop there. He also went here.
All these speeches, as good as they were, is that she's in the White House right now. Democrats have controlled the White House for 12 of the last 16 years. And for all of the talk about division and the problems in the country and people are hurting, Democrats have mostly controlled this country. Trump had it for 4. The Obamas and Biden had it for the rest of the time. And somehow, it's still all Trump's fault, and somehow she hasn't been at the center of it. So to me, that's still the glaring hole in this campaign that hasn't yet been solved at the convention. How do you explain all of the problems that will be solved by the person who is currently in there for the last 3.5 years, who is supposed to already be working on solving it?
Yeah, man, once again, he ain't lying. Yeah, it was like, look, I'm going to get in here and I'm going to fix things. You already in there. Yeah, I know, but you know what I'm saying. I'm going to really do something. I'm going to really be in there this time. No, you really there. You're in there right now. You're talking from being in there. Man, when I go into work, I'm going to do some work. When I go to work next time, I'm going to really do some work. You're already at work, sir. You've been at this job for almost 4 years. And now you're going to get serious. Listen, America, it's time to roll up our sleeves and get serious about this. So why did we pay you last time? Very interesting. Very interesting. Amazing stuff, amazing stuff. All right, that wasn't his last one. He went a little bit further, Johnson. Let's hear him here. One more time for the win.
Amount of responsibility for her current job. What she did not do was take any amount of responsibility for her current job, which is Vice President of the United States for the last 3.5 years under Joe Biden. There was not an ounce of humility about the inflation gripping the country. She talked about immigration without talking about all the things that happened right up until this border bill that they have hung all their hats on over at the Biden White House. So to me, where the Republicans are going to be headed is all the pablum, all the platitudes, all that aside, you cannot leave the same people in charge. If you believe the country's on the wrong track, if you believe they made all the mistakes on the economy and on immigration, you cannot leave the same people in charge that have run the country off into the ditch. Until she comes up with a good answer for that, which I suspect will have to be litigated at the debate on September 10th, Donald Trump is still in a very good position.
But see,
the problem.
Yeah, man, this is where I'm at, guys. This is how I come up with it. I look at it like, it's very difficult to run for re-election if you're not the guy who was re-elected. It's a very difficult position that Kamala's in. People don't give it enough credit for what has to happen here. And I gotta give the Democrats credit for saying, if we try to do this like a traditional race, we over. Because how you gonna run against the other guy? Like, you are part of the team. Like, what she has to do is bend herself into a pretzel. She has to say, hey, we did great things, but some of them weren't great. And then people are like, yeah, we know. If people think that there needs to be changes made, no matter what you bring out, no matter what you do, no matter how many Beyonce songs, I don't care, no matter how many celebrities come out and endorse you, if people truly believe that under Biden things weren't the way they wanted it to be, they're going to take a serious look at anybody else. And in this case, it's Trump. That's just what's going to happen. I don't see how you work around it. You don't. That's what happens in elections. Not everybody votes for you. What I think Kamala is there to do is to keep them from losing, to keep the Democrats from losing the House and the Senate. That's the only thing I could think could come out of this at all. Okay? And that's a win. Because with Biden, they would have lost the House and the Senate. You understand? The presidency, the House, and the Senate. That's what was going to happen. You do understand that. Because Biden was stinking up the place. Now the place is less stinky. But it's still, she got some of the funk on her from being with Biden. And I know people are going to say, oh, she was a vice president. Everybody keeps saying it. Guess what? The rest of the world don't want to hear it. No one cares. Most Americans don't pay attention to politics to that extent. All they know is she was their partner. They don't understand this stuff you're saying. Well, you know that the vice presidential position is mostly a ceremonial position where it's more administrative, and they occasionally do things at the behest of the president, and blah, 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 blah. They're looking like, you're number two. You're the assistant coach. Who are you talking about? If you get a ring, you take the ring, don't you, though? You take the ring, though, don't you? If he win the Super Bowl, you be right there, popping champagne. He'd be like, this is politics. It's not football. You understand what I'm saying, though? But if things went well, you'd be taking bows with him. You took bows with him when he was saying things were going great. I remember you coming out saying you disagreed with him. I don't remember anything like that. You were a company person. So, once again, I believe that if people have a problem with anything Biden did, they're going to put it on Kamala. And yeah, and I think all the boogeyman stuff with the Project 2025 ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Most people, like even the people that are afraid of Project 2025, they're just repeating talking points from MSNBC. They haven't even looked it up. You know what I mean? Today I had about 10 people. No BS. I had 10 people in my comment section going, of course it's Trump's. J.D. Vance wrote it. J.D. Vance wrote the forward. I'm like, why are people saying that? I got a copy of Project 2025. The forward is not written by J.D. Vance. Why do people think that? Oh, now I know. Well, one of the authors of Project 2025 has another book coming out, and J.D. Vance wrote the forward for that book that's not out. And it has nothing to do with Project 2025. Something about family values or something. But see, somebody on MSNBC lied. And all of y'all who won't look it up, repeat the lie. And then come in my comment section and say, I should be afraid and I'm not taking it serious. Nah, man, you watch MSNBC and CNN and you let that fool you. I don't do that. At least you could do, before typing J.D. Vance wrote the forward for Project 2025, is go download it. It's free. You don't even have to read that far in it. The forward is before page 1. That's why it's called a forward. That means you not only are being fooled, not only are you gullible, but you're also lazy. Sorry, Johnson. You're pretty lazy if you can't do like this on your mouse and download a free thing that you are talking about just to make sure what you're saying is true. And that also means you trust CNN so much. You trust MSNBC so much. You won't fact check them when all you got to do is click download. That's what's dangerous, man. It doesn't mean J.D. Vance is a great guy. It doesn't mean Trump is a great guy. It means you trust corporate media. And you're on an independent media page spouting talking points from corporate media telling me I'm not being right because I don't agree to be afraid of the book. Come on, Johnson. Come on, Johnson. Right. Come on, man. When are we going to admit that both parties are horrible? Some of y'all still holding out hope that the Democrats aren't. And you're wrong. They are horrible. All right. Okay, so. Now, this was an extra bonus. This I thought was just before I get to Kamala Harris, this is about Kamala Harris, and it's amazing because what's about to be said about Kamala Harris here is not a compliment, and it was less than a year ago. And these are the same people now who are touting how great she is. What did she do in the last 10 months that made her great?
Biden's weaknesses, according to these critics, is his number 2, Vice President Kamala Harris. Her numbers aren't great either. A poll from over the summer showed half of voters have a negative view of Harris. That's one of the lowest ratings for that poll. And among Democrats, she is obviously more popular. But listen to former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi earlier tonight, right here on CNN.
Is Vice President Kamala Harris the best running mate for this president?
He thinks so, and that's what matters.
But do you think she is the best running mate, though?
She's the vice president of the United States. So when people say to me, well, why isn't she doing this or that? I said, because she's the vice president. That's the job description. You don't do that much.
That's not exactly a loud endorsement.
Oh. Yeah, that's not exactly a loud endorsement. It's also kind of makes all this like, she got all this credibility. She's got all this experience kind of go like, oh, I don't know. I don't know. Oh, hey, take it for what it's worth. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. You got to push. We should be pushing Kamala Harris towards policies that we wanted to implement. It is what it is. Here goes Kamala Harris giving her speech, man. And this is going to be fun because I have not checked it out, but I'm going to do my best. Guys, let me know what you think about this. Let's comment. Let's get involved. This could be the next president of the United States. She could be your president. Madam President of the United States. There is a lot surrounding this. And let's take this with the seriousness that requires this. This is a serious point in time. This is historical, what's happening right now. Matter of fact, just to be at this point is historical. It's already historical. You understand what I'm saying? So let's deal with this with the seriousness that the time demands and the ramifications that are behind it and the people that truly believe this is something that's monumental and it's very important for our country. So here, with no further ado, here goes Kamala Harris giving her first speech. Is not a stump speech, I think. Is this a stump speech? Please don't let this just be a stump speech. I heard a stump speech.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Okay, let's get to business. Let's get to business. All right. So let me start by thanking my most incredible husband, Doug, for being an incredible partner to me, an incredible father to Cole and Ella, and happy anniversary, Dougie. I love you so very much. To our President Joe Biden. Growing up, arranged marriage.
Oh, hold on.
Alone, had one of her own, and I miss her every day, and especially right now. And I know she's looking down, smiling. I know that. So my mother was 19 when she crossed the world alone.
Yo. Really? I'm thinking she's going to come in here, she's going to be talking about policy and about what she's going to do for the country. Really, guys? She's just going to go through her own personal stories, guys? Is that what happens here, Aaron? Is that what she does, Aaron? I know, Aaron. I know. Look. Aaron. Aaron said, Aaron said, I can't with her. I'll be back later. And Aaron loves the show. Aaron's my guy. Is that all she gonna do, man? Like I wanna. Let me try to get to some relevant points.
Aretha, Coltrane.
Oh. See when Cornel West does that, when Dr. Cornel West brings up music, people be like, "Oh, here we go with music again." Kind of taking a page out of his book. Coltrane is Cornel's guy.
They instilled in us the values they personified. A direct quote. I grew up immersed in the ideals of the civil rights movement. System of justice. A harm against any one of us is a harm against all of us. And I would often explain this to console survivors of crime, to remind them no one should be made to fight alone. We are all in this together.
One of the things I can't say about prosecutors, and I would never support a prosecutor, so that's going to be a problem for a lot of people here. They don't understand my disdain for the system, that I know how the system operates and how it disproportionately impacts Black people and people that are poor. If you're poor, if you don't have a lot of money in the bank, you taking that plea deal, you're going to take this rap. That's what's going to happen. That system is garbage. She was one of the people handing out the hardest sentences that she could hand out. I don't care what people say about, oh, well, she took care of these children and she did this with the thing and the murder. Dog. Most prosecutors in America do not handle just like kidnapping cases. Amy Klobuchar tried to say the same crap. Most of what people deal with, almost 90%, I'll say high 80% of the crimes that are handled in our justice system are low-level drug offenses. Low-level drug offenses drive our criminal justice system, not kidnappings, not murders. Low-level drug offenses. Damn it. Stop listening to people tell you, just Cadell want to act like he caught the Holy Ghost and now he sees things differently. Now he knows that she ain't just throw away people for marijuana. Yeah, she threw them away for possession. Yeah, the people that only had a marijuana charge, that's the only thing they had. They may have had something else. They may have had a driving or suspended license as well. They may have been trespassing when they had the weed on them. But you talk about the cases that were only marijuana and nothing else. You're already on probation and you got marijuana. What should you do then? What should you do then? All right, so like I will never support a prosecutor for all the reasons I just outlined. And I know it's people that call themselves progressive that are fine to throw that away because they never really cared about criminal justice anyway. They never really cared about it. They just said they did, and I knew y'all didn't care about that shit. That's why I left you guys, because I knew you did not care about issues that impacted my community. I knew it. You were paying lip service. You were phony. I shouldn't have put up with it as long as I did. I'm glad I got out. It's been almost 3 years, and I'm gone, and I'm not coming back. If you come over here, it's a different ball game, baby. The Tim Black Show has changed dramatically since the last time you saw me. Let's keep going. Let's see if Kamala says something else that can give me a reason to say something important.
And every day in the courtroom, I stood proudly before a judge and I said 5 words: Kamala Harris for the people. And to be clear, my entire career, I've only had one client, the people.
Oh, that sounds really great. So you weren't a defense where you were actually defending people that were the people. When you say the people, you mean the state. You mean sort of like when we drop bombs on other people? You dropping bombs for the people. Us people. Not the people that are getting hit with the bombs, getting the bombs in the ass. Or, the people, like when they were water hosing black people in the streets. There was an order to do those water hoses, That was the people too. They were doing it for the state. There are a lot of things that have been done in this country by the state. And when you say for the people, it's always against the people. Because we don't prosecute dogs and cats in buildings. We prosecute what? People. But see, only someone is brainwashed by the narratives. And believe me, man, I understand it because they put a lot of money into this thing, Johnson. A lot of money has been spent to knock you off your square. To tell you that water ain't wet. Duck grease ain't greasy. And the yellow snow is just God's way of smiling on you. Now, Johnson, there's something rotten in Denmark. And we ain't even in Denmark.
And so, on behalf of the people, on behalf of every American, regardless.
She is horrible. Who told you this was good? Who says she has it? Lord, I'd rather listen to Hillary Clinton. Damn it, I'm saying it. I'd rather listen to Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton never was really full of herself. She is. I mean, it's close.
Regardless of party, race, gender, or the language your grandmother speaks.
She over this joint milking this like she in the zone, like she is floating, like she is the bomb, like this is amazing. Like what she's saying is actually meritorious. Like it's important, it's essential listening. This is drivel, this is rhetoric, this is nothing. Man.
On behalf of my mother and everyone who has ever set out.
Lord have mercy. We already heard about your mother. This ain't gonna go well. This is not gonna go well. I'm gonna calm down a little bit. I'm gonna stay lit, but I'm gonna calm down because getting all upset. Woo! Come on now.
On their own unlikely journey, on behalf of Americans like the people I grew up with, people who work hard, chase their dreams, and look out for one another, on behalf of everyone whose story could only be written in the greatest.
Man, this is, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could do this, man. This is torture fest. I feel like I'm in a, scene of, damn, man, I'm in a horror movie. Some out of the Space Invaders or Body Snatchers. What's the movie with the crazy things that come out they torture you and shit? What's the movie where they torture everybody? It's like crazy, sadistic stuff, not Jigsaw, the other one. Like I'm in a horror flick, man. The guy with the teeth coming out of his forehead. And there's somebody else with the spikes and stuff that stick the needles in you. What's the name of that, man? What's the name of that? Keep going, Bill Brummer. You know the movie where it's like a horror movie and everybody get tortured in the movie. People come out, they death a little box. You turn the box and then you don't put it the right way. It's like the world's worst Rubik's Cube. If you do this shit the wrong way, then all of a sudden these guys appear. They're like, ah. You know what I'm saying? Hellraiser. Hellraiser. Give it up for that. Give it up for Lisa. Give it up. Who did first? Damn, we got a lot of Hellraisers. Buck, you on the drawer, Joe. Pinhead. Hellraiser. DeAndre. Give it up for DeAndre, y'all. And look, an honorable mention to Timo for Pinhead. There it is. That's what I'm talking about, Pinhead. I feel like I done messed around and pissed off Pinhead. Listen to her. She need to be. I'm surprised they probably have her voice playing in Guantanamo Bay. They got her ass on loudspeakers in Guantanamo. Please shut that place down. I mean that sincerely, and also mean this is just inhumane treatment.
Nation on earth. I accept your nomination to be President of the United States.
She had to look and see how to. I accept your nomination. Though, if anything, you should know that part. Look at him, like, yay, my dreams are coming true. I'm gonna go home and beat my son up. Look at Doug. Doug is funny. Doug's like, I knew I was okay cheating on. My last divorce was worth it. Knocking out my nanny. It all worked out. I'm second husband, about to come first husband. Who's a piece of crap now, Lydia? This is working out if you get away from this dumbass son.
And with this election.
That's her sister.
And with this election, nation with this election has a precious, fleeting opportunity to move past the bitterness, cynicism, and divisive battles of the past, a chance to chart a new way forward.
Man, this is that Obama BS, man. That Obama BS nonsense, man. This is what that is, guys. Johnson. If y'all don't recognize it, ain't nothing I can do for you. I know you're like, oh my God, Tim Black, but we got Trump. Yeah, I know, but Trump only gonna be there for a certain amount of time. Hey, go with Cornel West. Vote for what you want, not what you don't want, but afraid of what you might get. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Jill Stein's up there too. I don't know, man. I can't endorse it.
Not as members of any one party or faction, but as Americans. And let me say, I know there are people of various political views watching tonight, and I want you to know.
I did everything I could to keep Joe alive in this spot, but Joe just couldn't do it. I didn't know how sick he was. I had no idea.
I promise to be a president for all Americans. You can always trust me to put country above party and self.
Yeah, above party and self, huh? How about above corporations? Yeah. Are you gonna put the people above corporations? Because that's what we need you to do. We need you to put people over corporations. Not just your party, but the corporations that fund your party. See what I'm saying? The money people. If you ain't talking about doing that, you ain't talking about doing nothing. Because that's the problem.
To hold sacred America's fundamental principles, from the rule of law to free and fair elections to the peaceful transfer of power.
Oh, and Trump, he spoiled the insurrection. He tried to take our democracy from us. I mean, he didn't do it. And he didn't stay in office not even 24 hours longer than he was supposed to, but he almost took it. I mean, he could have.
I will be a president who unites us around our highest aspirations.
Nah, you will not be a president of the United States. I can't say unequivocally there's no way that you will be president because I know how much women want you to be president. A lot of women, so I can't say that. But I can definitely say, I can positively say, you uniting us, that ain't gonna happen. Because if you ain't gonna go against the corporations, it's still gonna be too many people broke and mad. And the people that are broke and mad are very easily divided. That's why that exists to begin with, to keep us divided. Because if we ever united, we go against the corporations. See, this is how this works out. Not that Kamala cares.
A president who leads and listens, who is realistic, practical.
Yeah, you know what that means, don't you? Practical. That's what she was trying to tell all you black folks. That's what she meant. She was like, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that only helps black people. I'm not going to say that. That's what she was doing. She being practical. Practically go sit your ass down somewhere. I got a country to one, Johnson. I'm going to talk to Julio and my Latino brethren.
And has common sense and always fights for the American people.
Look, she said has common sense. Has common sense. So she's saying Trump don't have common sense. Ain't that something?
From the courthouse to the White House, that has been my life's work. As a young courtroom prosecutor in Oakland, California, I stood up.
Man, it's going to be tough, God. It's going to be tough, family. It's going to be tough. I'm trying to jump forward, guys. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
And we know what a second Trump term would look like. It's all laid out in Project 2025, written by his closest advisors. And its sum total is to pull our country back to the past. But America, we are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back. We are not going back to when Donald Trump tried to cut Social Security and Medicare. We are not going back to when he tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, when insurance companies could deny people with pre-existing conditions. We are not going to let him eliminate the Department of Education that funds our public schools. We are not going to let him end programs like Head Start that provide preschool and childcare for our children. America, we are not going back. Charting a new way forward to a future with a strong and growing middle class, because we know a strong middle class has always been critical to America's success. And building that middle class will be a defining goal of my.
I'm wondering where all the Kamala supporters are at. This is supposed to be riveting stuff. I mean, this is your new president. This is the one y'all keep telling me is so amazing. What's wrong with me? Share this out so they can all come in here and tell us how great she is, how amazing she is, how I ain't never, ever witnessed such a leader. Such a leader. Ever, except Kamala. Kamala's like everything, man. She is amazing.
Presidency.
Woo.
And I'll tell you, this is personal for me. The middle class is where I come from.
Anybody know what Kamala's father does, what her father was or is? Because I know her mother was a scientist. A literal scientist. I don't know what dad was, but I know dad's a very notable person. What was her dad? Kamala's dad. Where's my phone? Here we go. Kamala's dad, guys. Let's do some real-time fact checking. Because I get so tired of her talking about I'm middle class. Okay, for those 2 seconds before you got that $500,000. Willie Brown hooked you up that slot that gave you $500,000 a year to sit on the board, then another $500,000 to sit on the board again, something like that. When you were in your 20s, I'm sorry, back when you were a teenager, let's go to it. Kamala Harris, dad, occupation. Yeah, he's a professor, a renowned economist. There he is. He's a Jamaican-American economist and professor emeritus at Stanford University, originally from St. Ains Bay, Jamaica. So he's an economist and professor. He's Dr. Sandy Darity. He is Dr. Sandy Darity. He is Dr. Gosh, I've had a couple of economists. Professors. What's the one that worked with Ice Cube? So anyway, yeah, I've had a couple of professors on the show. I'm not saying they're bleeding, just farting money, but it's pretty good salary. So dad was a professor, mom is a professor, she's a scientist. You mean to tell me You know, what my mom did, my father did. My father worked construction, like on the buildings, and he wasn't drafting them either. He wasn't like drawing pictures of the buildings. No, he literally was a blue-collar worker working construction, building the buildings. My mom was a homemaker, but also a like vendor, like side jobs. She worked on the weekends. You know what I'm saying? We had an apartment till I was 14. Then we had a house that we rented. I think we bought it by the time I was about to leave. 13. So I don't know. But I was lower middle class. And if you are what middle class is, when your parents are scientists and professors and all hold PhDs, my parents' high school education's like, I'm trying to figure out, and look, and it's not about one-upping each other about how hard life is. I know it's people probably watching who's come from backgrounds that are, you know, they'd be like, "Hey, Tim, you lucky. You knew who your mama was? You know, I was raised here. I understand that." But what I'm saying is, she keeps touting like she knows working class people when she ain't, you know, when I don't think she does. I just don't think she does. I think it's bogus. You know, your background does not scream, I'm for working class people that, you know, this and that, this and that. Just hate when people sell it. It's the same thing with the color. When you keep selling, I was black and I always had to struggle. Then people look at you like, if I saw you, I wouldn't even know you were black. What are you talking about? So that's when these conversations begin, guys. It's not racism. It's not misogyny. It's just when you use a thing and you keep saying a thing, people want you to verify the thing at some point because you're using it to build a narrative. So people have a right to question that. If you say you're from DC and I say, where? That's not disrespectful. You say I'm from Maryland, I say where? Prince George's County, I say where? Because I know Prince George's County. I lived there many years. So I'm like, okay, where? South, north, where? I want to know. That's not disrespectful. That's just answering the question. Because you the one brought it up. Everybody keeps bringing it up. So I just want to know where it is. Let's let her keep going.
My mother kept a strict budget. We lived within our means, yet we wanted for little. And she expected us.
I grew up at the thrift store. I grew up at the thrift store wearing Maypops when I was a kid. What about you guys? See, that's see, that's why this whole I'm selling this. They wrote this like this is going to win it over with the poor people. Nah, man. You know, America has a lot of people with a lot of different stories. That's all I'm saying. So I'm trying to say you're going to appeal to the poorest by talking about we didn't have a lot. We had it tough.
To make the most of the opportunities that were available to us and to be grateful for them. Because as she taught us, opportunity is not available to everyone.
Yeah, everybody that's not you, that's not in this house. Maybe that's what she meant by that. Whose mother is not a scientist. Maybe that's what she meant. Because you were afforded a lot of opportunity. And then you got some more opportunity right after you left home.
That's why we will create what I call an opportunity economy where everyone has the chance to compete and a chance to succeed. Whether you live in a rural area, small town, or big city. And as president, I will bring together labor and workers and small business owners and entrepreneurs and American companies.
How?
To create jobs.
How? And you are right now able to do that very same thing. Well, what's going to make you be able to do it now that you weren't able to do it like a month ago or a year ago? Like, what's the difference? Like, if you got this big plan, I know. Joe Biden wouldn't let you, right? Joe Biden wouldn't let you create all these jobs and do all these great things. because Joe Biden is an ass, right? Right? And just admit your mind was not on doing none of the stuff you're talking about. And it's always about you talking about it now is because you're running for president.
To grow our economy and to lower the cost of everyday needs like health care and housing and groceries. We will provide access to capital for small business owners and entrepreneurs and founders. And we will end America's housing shortage and protect Social Security and Medicare. Now compare that to Donald Trump, because I think everyone here knows he doesn't actually fight for the middle class. He doesn't actually fight for the middle class. Instead, he fights for himself and his billionaire friends. And he will give them another round of tax breaks that will add up to $5 trillion to the national debt.
You mean sort of like, bailing out the banks? Sort of like bailing out those banks they built out under Obama, then sort of like, hey man, Biden wrote a lot of checks for like infrastructure, for like this plan, for like that plan. It's a lot of money written out there too. I'm just saying, man, I don't buy into that, man, because I don't see a lot of people benefiting from that I know of. I just don't know a lot of people benefiting from it. It's like, we got a new bridge. Yeah, well, do you own a small business that put that bridge up? Were you one of the vendors that were able to get that contract to erect that small bridge, to work on that bridge? That shit matters, man. Now you start talking about who's gonna get those jobs. Who's gonna get those jobs? Who's gonna be the ones doing it? Who's gonna get awarded those contracts? All right.
The freedom to live safe from gun violence in our schools, communities, and places of worship. The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. President of the United States, I will proudly sign it into law.
Hold on, what you say?
In this election, many other fundamental freedoms are at stake. The freedom to live safe from gun violence in our schools, communities, and places of worship. The freedom to love who you love openly and with pride. The freedom to breathe clean air and drink clean water and live free from the pollution that fuels the climate crisis.
Man, everything just sounds very basic, guys. It's very overarching rhetoric. It's just one of those. It's just a speech, guys. It's nothing here, man. It's just somebody talking, just talking. I'm talking shit. Can I be president? I can just talk too. Yeah, man, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do the other thing. Yeah. What else you want us to do? Yeah, we're gonna do all that. Yeah, everybody gonna be good. Ha ha.
And I will always honor and never disparage their service and their sacrifice.
See, that's all cap. That's all cap. You want to help veterans, Kamala? You want to help veterans, really? Stop making so many veterans. That's how you honor veterans, sister. I'm talking about, Trump said something when he was in France about something. If somebody said, who said it? This guy said he heard him say it. Oh, he did? Okay, fine. You want to help veterans, stop making so many veterans, and that's going to require you to have a backbone and stand up for something, but I don't think you will. I've never seen you stand up for anything except questioning some white guy on stand about some dumb stuff at a party one time. Did you give the girl a beer? I remember that thing. You just did a Jasmine Crockett. And they loved it too. Look at her. She's spicy. She know how to tell him. She read him and wrote him and erased him. Yeah, so in order for you to say that you really care about veterans, stop making veterans, and you're gonna have to end these stupid ass wars. That's something Trump's running on, ending these wars. He's also running on, he said, hey, we won't start wars under me. But see, now I know you're going to say, Ukraine has nothing to do with me. I'm just vice president. But you are very much behind funding Israel, though. And what's going on in the Congo? What you want to do about that? Congo, Somalia, it's a lot of shit going on in the globe, guys. It's a lot happening. And a lot of it would not be happening if we didn't either get involved or be quiet about it. Like, it's either we're a part of it, behind it happening, or we're allowing it to happen. Understand what I'm saying?
For Israel's right to defend
There it is.
around the clock. Because now is the time to get a hostage deal and a ceasefire deal done.
Yeah, because we know it's all the same thing, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, let these people go, and then y'all can stop bombing their ass. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, because like right now, it's like 50-1 for the casualties, right? And like when you got 50-1, that ain't even a war, Johnson. This ain't a war. That's why people call it a genocide, because when it's for every one Israeli citizen who was hurt or killed, there's 50 Palestinians. And when you have numbers like that, that's not a war. Okay? And I know it's people like, I don't care, Tim. We got all these problems going on. Yeah, I know. So you see her talking about it, though, don't you? So it's part of the conversation. It matters. It matters to me. It's not the only thing that matters to me. Other things matter, but this matters. This damn sure matters. She's saying she's doing both sides. She both sides of it, man. That's all she doing. They talk crap when Trump was like, we had good people on both sides. What happened in Charlottesville had good people on both sides. I've been having to hear that for the last 7 years. She did the same thing right there, and nobody said shit. At least nobody in corporate media. And Trump even said, hey, I wasn't talking about the skinheads and the neo-Nazis. There is no excuse for them. They are deplorable. They don't belong in our society. He said that they took it out. You went with it anyway because it was CNN and MSNBC saying it. Kamala's not even saying that. He's not saying, hold up, there's good people on both sides. I don't mean the people that are torturing Palestinians. I mean the people that are dropping bombs on the heads of kids, that bombed the schools and the hospitals and shot up the journalists and the medics on purpose. I'm talking about the regular people that are doing whatever. She doesn't even qualify it. But I'm not hearing that same pushback. I'm not hearing the same pushback, an ethical, moral pushback on the bullshit, okay? So that's definitely something that's unavoidable, incontrovertible. You cannot discredit it. It's facts. That's what they did. Those are what they did. That's considered war for them. That's not war when you bombing food sources, when you are starving out populations of people, human beings, starving them intentionally. You blow up the medicine and the food. That's not a war. And she's saying, we got good people on both sides. Now you let their people go and you stop killing everybody with everything that moves everywhere. It will be fine. That's not, you call that leadership.
Let me be clear. I will always stand up for Israel's right to defend itself, and I will always ensure Israel has the ability to defend itself because the people of Israel...
That means she will continue to fund Israel and send it all your billions of dollars and then tell Black Americans, we ain't got nothing for you. I ain't going to sit there and say I'm going to do something particularly, but it's only going to help Black people. I'm not going to do that. But she about to send some money to Israel that's particularly only going to help Israel. And that's not a problem. No one says anything. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I said this point, I think it's very relevant, guys. It's funny how America doesn't have a problem sending money to Ukraine. No one needs to have a study or a test form a coalition, form a panel, study it, because, they don't know if money is really what's necessary to help Ukraine. They just send the money. In Israel, no one had to form a panel. They didn't need to conduct a study. Send money. These people need our money. Iron Dome, bombs, whatever you need. When I start saying, hey, man, Black Americans on the bottom of this country, we built this country for free against our will, cut us our check. Where's the Black agenda? Where's the Black policies? They go, hold on. We support a study. We willing to have a study. We're willing to talk about it, Tim Black. Oh, there you go again, asking for stuff. Put yourself up by your bootstraps. That's American. Don't you forget it. That's how it operates. Kamala's going to change that. And look, if you're going to vote for it anyway, that's fine. At least let's not pretend that she is not exactly who I'm saying she is. Let's not pretend. Don't be acting duped like, I didn't know. See, everybody was able, like, with Trump, everybody was like, I'm sorry, with Obama, a lot of us were fooled. I didn't see a whole lot of people doing this. We'd have had the internet built up like this. We'd have had TikTok when Obama ran. Did we even have Twitter? In 2008, I don't think it was even invented yet. It's a different time. I would like to believe if we would have been able to find out more about Obama, we'd have been more discerning and more skeptical of Obama. The information is right here on Kamala. It's right here. So if you're going to do that anyway, at least know what you're getting into. You can't feign like you didn't have an opportunity to know better this time. If you're voting based on body parts, well, then you deserve the country you get afterwards. Wrap it up, Kamala.
Must never again face the horror that a terrorist organization called Hamas caused on October 7th.
What about all the pain the IDF caused for Palestinians before October 7th? October 7th didn't just come out of the blue. Now people been living in a terroristic state, an apartheid state for the last 60 years. They've been in an open-air prison that we helped fund for many years, many decades, and now you're like, oh, when the Palestinians do something, it's like, see what you did, look what you made me do. Up there jerking away from me when I'm holding you, I'm strangling you. You up here, you done cut, man. Look what you done made me do. You understand what I'm saying? That's why this matters, guys. Because, and I said this, and I wanted people to get it. I'm gonna maybe make it say it clear, guys. If you have politicians who won't stand up for Palestinians, they ain't gonna stand up for Black people. It's just not. Because it just goes to show they're not willing to stand up against the system. And there's going to be a lot of experiences or a lot of instances where you're going to be able to see that. Okay? If they won't stand up against the corporations, they ain't going to stand up for your Black ass. Okay? If they ain't going to stand up against babies starving, bombs on civilians, bombs on schools, bombs on hospitals, bombs on food trucks, killing media personnel, killing medics. You ain't standing up against that. You come with some lukewarm, flaccid nonsense, some feckless, hopeless, stupid, abysmal, dry, sanitized garbage like, we need to just everybody. Then you know they ain't gonna stand up for you. They're not gonna fight for you. And we need to know that going in. Let's have an alternative plan. If this woman gets in, let's already have an alternative plan. Someone said to me, someone wrote me and said, if Kamala Harris gets in, it's all over. If Kamala Harris gets in, it's all over. For Black people.
Including unspeakable sexual violence and the massacre of young people at a music festival. At the same time, what...
Look, I'm going to bounce around because I don't want to pick sides because I need everybody vote for me, so I'm not going to pick a side. I'm going to go over here and say, remember that time you didn't let him go to the club? Well, that was wrong too.
What has happened in Gaza over the past 10 months is devastating. So many innocent lives lost.
Yeah, you're so devastated by it. You're so devastated with what happened to the Palestinians that you had a show. You had a DNC that went on for 4 nights, and you haven't had a single Palestinian hold the mic since you've been here. That is sorry, man. That's pathetic. I saw people complaining about it, and I saw Jon Stewart hit it out the park. He's got an excellent point. You care so much. You want to be so fair and balanced on the issue that you want to let a single person from that part of the world touch the mic for 4 days. And it's your convention. But yeah, we should trust you. All right, Johnson.
Desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety over and over again. The scale of suffering is heartbreaking. President Biden and I are working to end this war.
Cut off the money. Cut off the money. If we stop funding it, everybody else will stop funding it. The end. That's how that works. Can't go nowhere if you ain't got no gas. Run out of bullets and stop shooting. But nah, we need to keep having conversations because we need to be diplomatic. So we want to keep talking, but here go the money though. Here, take what you need. I really wish you wouldn't do that though. You should stop. Well, need some more? Oh, here you go. Now, you shouldn't do this though, but now here you go. You know what I'm saying? And I guess you feel really bad about it. So now it's to the point when Bibby come around asking for more money, he'd be like, where the money at? You'd be like, what money? What money? I don't have no money for you. See ya. Told you I didn't have no money for you. Spineless.
Such that Israel is secure, the hostages are released, the suffering in Gaza ends, and the Palestinian people can realize their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination.
They must have turned on a clap machine. These are some disgusting people in this audience, man. I mean that with the, I'm sorry, Johnson. I gotta go after the people there, man. Like, if you don't know what's happening, I'm on Twitter and I'm seeing imagery. My God. I had to hide some of that from my view, man. I'm seeing stuff. I don't even want to repeat it to you. For real. I don't want to ruin your weekend. And these people up here clapping for this empty rhetoric nonsense about something we're funding. These same people would be upset if you saw a cat get kicked. Oh, hey, she kicked the kitty cat. Oh, my God. And that puppy. He scolded the puppy. He picked the puppy up by his paw. You could really damage him that way. I want him out of a job now. Take his job. Dox him. They're dropping bombs on kids. They're blowing up hospitals and schools. Yeah, but sometimes, sometimes the brown people got to learn. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm a liberal. I love people, but sometimes, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Yep, these same people, look at them clapping hard as hell. Look at them. Yay!
And know this, I will never hesitate to take whatever action is necessary.
to sell you the hell out and pick up my check.
To defend our forces and our interests against Iran and Iran-backed terrorists. I will not cozy up to tyrants and dictators like Kim Jong-un who are rooting for Trump.
Why? It's good to have friends who got nuclear bombs now. Use them on you. I bet you're going to go in there and antagonize people talking loud like you're going to do something. Do nothing but get a lot of people killed with your silly ass.
Who are rooting for Trump.
That's because just because people don't like you don't mean nothing wrong with them.
Because, you know,
They know you suck.
He is easy to manipulate with
Manipulate?
flattery and favors. They know Trump won't hold autocrats accountable.
Yeah, I'm not going to hit her below the belt, man. I'm holding back a little bit. This is, you know what I'm saying? I'm holding back because I don't want to go there.
Because he wants to be an autocrat himself.
Not like you. I find it very rich, guys. We're talking about a party that installed a nominee without going through any type of democratic process whatsoever, has the audacity to talk about democracy and autocracy and all this other shit. They done rigged their own primaries 3 times in a row. And that's only since I've been counting, Johnson. They probably rigged them more than that. But since I've been paying the politics, every election I paid attention to, the Democratic primary has been rigged by the Democratic Party. Not by the Republican Party, not by Donald Trump, but by the Democratic Party. And now they do this. This is the crescendo. This is the hi-hat. This is the epitome of rigging your own internal elections. And we got people, I can't believe how many regular people going, so what? I like it anyway. I don't need my vote to count. Why are you complaining about voting rights then? Yeah, won't y'all shut the hell up about voting rights? Because obviously you don't care if you got them or not. Anyway, it's a waste of time. Yeah, we might as well not even fight for that voting rights thing, because y'all suckers are willing to let this cornball become your nominee without voting for it. So the hell with voting rights. Why are you upset about voting rights? Why are you so upset about them? Because you think Republicans took them? You just gave them to the Democrats.
And as president, I will never waver in defense of America's security and ideals, because in the enduring struggle between democracy.
That means more wars, folks. That's the shorthand of all that BS she about to say. That means she's going to take us to war, and we know what that's about. That's about our military-industrial complex. You understand what I'm saying? That's all that's about. Ain't nobody threatening us. Ain't nobody on us like that. That is us wanting to print money. That's what she on. She on it already, like the Obamas who came into office being worth $1 million and left being worth 90. And then go with a cushy exit package. Like Tim Black, but Trump, yeah. This heifer's been vice president, and now she potentially, if she gets in office, she could be president a second term. That's 8 years of this nonsense of her. With the 4 years she already had. Me not like it. Me not like it.
Democracy and tyranny. I know where I stand, and I know where the United States belongs.
You know where the United States belongs, huh? In jail. For violating human rights. That's really where the United States belongs. But you know. Sometimes you got to crack some eggs if you want to make an omelet. Unless you got some egg beaters. Let's wrap this up, John.
America, let us show each other and the world who we are.
That's the problem. That's the problem. Let's show them who we're not. Let's show them who we're not. Because who we are, it's not good. Who we are is some warmongering, racist bigots who bomb brown people to fund rich people in America. That's who we are. It would be really nice, really noble of us to change that practice. You understand what I'm saying? That would be noble.
And what we stand for.
Corporations, corporate greed, privatization to inflate profits for corporations. That's what we stand for. Where have you been? You know this. You're part of it.
Freedom, opportunity, compassion, dignity, fairness, and endless possibilities.
BS.
We are the heirs to the greatest democracy in the history of the world.
Yeah, democracy where black people couldn't vote until like 1970. Yeah, Johnson, this is a great democracy. I love this democracy that we got here. It didn't work out so good for the blacks, but you know, hey, relatively speaking, I mean, hey, we were treated pretty well. We were treated pretty well. Treated so well, we gave the blueprint of, Hitler used the blueprint of how black people were treated in America for how to treat Jewish people. That's where they got their playbook from, watching how America treated black people. Black people don't know that. So that's how great America's been. That's what it is. 100 years of Jim Crow, no citizenship. But yeah, America's really a great democracy. You know, I can't see how anyone who's truly a black American could ever say shit like this. And that's why I wish I was more aware, more in tune when Obama was running. I can't go back and change 2008, but my black ass can do something about 2024. I'm trying, Johnson. I'm trying to make up for it in 2024. I wasn't much into politics in 2008. I was like most people going, he black. I never thought I'd live my life long enough to see this. And now I wish I never would have saw it.
And on behalf of our children and our grandchildren and all those who sacrificed so dearly for our freedom.
Just sound like she's trying to convince us of some BS and she knows it's BS.
And liberty, we must be worthy of this moment. It is
go vote for me and be worthy of this moment of my greatness.
now our turn to do what generations before us have done, guided by optimism.
Optimism. See, no, we're talking about, guys, this nonsense. Please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. I'm tired of hearing this type of nonsense, this optimism. Black people don't need optimism. Poor white people don't need optimism. Poor Asians, Latinos, indigenous folks do not need optimism. They need money. They need opportunity in the form of money. They need money. They need the markets to open up. They need themselves to have jobs that pay a decent wage. These are things they need. They need the opportunity to build wealth, not the opportunity, the means to build wealth. See, opportunity, there ain't nothing but opportunity in the world. All of us had an opportunity. We live in America. We say, you have an opportunity. But you don't really have an opportunity unless you had a means to exercise that opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? There's a beautiful woman over there. She's sitting right there. She's over there. She looks like she's worth $1 million. She dressed like $1 million. Looks like she's upscale. She comes some money, and you're sitting there and you're a man and you have opportunity. But guess what? She don't want no broke ass dude like you. So do you really have an opportunity? No, you don't. Only if you fit a certain type of criteria. Is she even interested in you? Because she wants somebody who can take her nice places, has a nice car, comes from a family that has money. That's what she wants. And once you find that out, you realize you ain't have a shot. That means What was your opportunity worth? Nothing. You go into a job. You put on your best suit. You got on your tie. Your shoes are shine. You even got your hair cut. You cut the stubble off your chin. You go in using the Queen's English. You got a firm handshake. You're doing everything right. You're thinking you got an opportunity. Little do you know, they don't want the blacks. Nah, in their corporate environment, they prefer people that they can relate to that are white or Asian or Indian. They don't think you're going to be a good fit. Little do you know, yes, there's an opportunity, but that opportunity is not for you. Do you really have an opportunity if they're already pre-selected? And the reason why you're in there for that interview is they didn't know the last name Clark was a black man. They didn't know the first name Chase Clark was a black man. They thought it was a white guy. That's the only reason why, if you had an address, that you used from your cousin who got some money that lives in a white neighborhood. So do you really have opportunity? See, opportunity don't mean nothing if you don't have the means to take advantage of the opportunity. These are buzzwords they're using. These are fooling. This is a way to fool you. This is deceptive language. Too many times, people fall for deceptive language that paints a certain narrative, but that narrative ain't correct. That narrative is not realistic. It's not being honest. It ain't an opportunity if you can't take advantage of it. So we need more than just the opportunity, folks. Okay, anybody can have the opportunity to duck a ball. If there's a ball on the court, right, I'm going to sit you in front of a basket. A basketball hoop, a basket. I'm going to give you a basketball. It's got air in it. And I'm going to say, if you could dunk this ball, I'm going to give you $100,000. And I'm going to walk away. You have the opportunity to dunk that shot, to make that shot. But guess what? You 5'3", and you can't jump. And you can't use a ladder. Do you really have an opportunity? Is that really an opportunity for you? The next guy walks up, he's 6'4", and he got hops. The opportunity is different because he knows what to do with the opportunity. He has the means to what? To use that opportunity and achieve the option, to take advantage of that opportunity. What Kamala is saying, it's not just, I don't like her. She's full of nonsense. She sat up here this whole time and talked. I ain't hear her mention black people one time. Nah, man, I skipped around a bit because she's very hard to listen to. When I listen to Donald Trump, and I'm just being real with you, he said the word black 6 times. In Kamala's speeches, I heard black 0 times. I don't think that's by accident. I don't think he said it by accident, and I don't think she didn't say it on accident. You understand what I'm saying? You get what I'm going? Now, I know there's going to be people out there that say, Tim Black, Donald Trump, he only used black because he's pandering. That could be true. You're very right. It could be true. Or it could be that he's trying to play towards black people because he actually wants to get black votes. It could also mean later if he gets elected, he may be thinking, hey, I want to keep these black people because we got black people now. What can we do to throw them a bone? These black people I was able to get for the Republican Party. On the other side, we got Kamala Harris who won't say the word black. She ain't pandering to us because she feels like she's enough. Her mere existence is pandering. Her mere existence should be all you need. You get to walk around and say, I got a black woman in the office. And you can tell your black daughters, you could be like Kamala Harris. I mean, if your mother was Indian and your father was from Jamaica and a professor, I'm not saying either way is a great way. I'm not saying this is amazing. What I'm saying is know what you're working with and understand when people disagree with you about Kamala Harris, it's not just hate. It's not just Republican money. It's not just talking points to be Sean Hannity's sidekick. It's rooted in some real principles. It's rooted in some reality checks. It's rooted in some real points that I just made for you. And I didn't need to watch Fox News to come up with them either. Thinking outside the box. Once you detox from the MSNBC and the CNN, you're able to think clearly now that the rain is gone. Do we need to hear the rest of her speech as she closes it? Why not? Let's say we did. Or how about this? How about we don't and say we did anyway? Because she ain't saying shit anyway. All right, guys, my name is Tim Black. Please hit like on the way out the door, Johnson. Please hit like. Share this with a friend. That's what we call sprinkling facts on them, baby. Sprinkling facts. Remember, tomorrow, if you run into somebody and they're talking some nonsense to you, they want to talk politics and they don't want to hear you out. They want to believe whatever they want to believe. You're trying to drop knowledge on them. They don't want to listen. Don't get into an argument with them. Don't debate back and forth with them. You ain't going to be able to convince them. If their mind is made up, their mind is made up. Sprinkle some facts on them and get the hell out of there. That's all you can do. Also, don't let nobody take your cornbread, Johnson. That's your cornbread, baby. That's all. Keep your cornbread. That's what I'm trying to help you do. I'm trying to help you keep your cornbread. I'm trying to keep my cornbread. I want to keep help my kids keep their cornbread. We're in a cornbread keeping society. It's a cornbread keeping fraternity. That's what we do here. This ain't propaganda. This is just information. Do with it as you will. All right, guys, let's go to the comment section. I got a couple people in the comments. Kirk Alton, speaking of economics, Derek Hamilton is the other professor, economist and professor emeritus who came on the show, man. Derek Hamilton, great guy. Dr. Derek Hamilton. Speaking of economists, you should get Dr. Thomas Kramer on his show. He's known for calculating reparations at a $6 quadrillion based on a formula that accounts for wage theft and interest of a modest 3%. Yeah, that sounds even more accurate, Kirk. Damn. Thank you, Kirk. I appreciate it. Bill Brummer became a YouTube member. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you, Bill. All right, guys. I guess that's all we got tonight, man. It's been an interesting show tonight. What can I tell you? Interesting show tonight. I think we proved some valid points. We hit on a lot of topics. I think I closed it with a bang. I hope that that spurge of truth telling, someone clips it out and shared it and we go viral. The thing was some good stuff there. I haven't heard anybody else say. Doesn't mean it's not been said, because a lot of us are on the same page, and that's a beautiful thing, Johnson. I'm trying to tell you, man. I remember when I was talking like this, and I ain't had nobody talking like this with me. I thought I was alone. And now I'm hearing brothers pop up, sisters pop up, all types of folks. Like I'm inspired by the amount of people that are not buying the nonsense. It really motivates me. I'm truly, sincerely excited about us being on the same page now. It's not everybody, but you know what? We got more wins than losses, and it's more of us waking up, joining in, speaking out every day. We got to do something with it, because I don't think they're going to allow this to go on much longer. You know what I'm saying? My people, we did it. We did it. What a good night. All right, guys. Thank you, Buck Bewley, for what you do. Sign of the Times as well. I appreciate it. You know it. Thank you to my subscribers. Thank you to my people that keep the show running. Remember to go to Tim's Take Live on Patreon. Become a member for only $5 a month. I believe that what we put down here, the conversation, the commentary, I think it's unique. I think my delivery is unique. I don't try to sound like anybody else. I'm just being myself. And I think it's viable. It's important. I think it matters. We got something to say. Become a member of the Tim Black Wolf Pack. Join us here. Join us on Patreon. You can always find me at Tim's Take Live on Patreon. You can always find me at tim@timblacktv.com. What else? Yeah, I got a website. That's all. I got a website. If this thing ever goes down, just know I got a website. I got an email and a website, and you can find me there as well. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm everywhere you are, and that's why I'm there, because you there. So if people are on it, I try to be on it. Yep. Thank you, over 50 and Fantabulous. I appreciate you, sister. I appreciate you. Yeah. Good night. It was a good night, and have a good night. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon. And damn, we did good today. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Don't forget, August 28th, I'm going to be here and I'm going to be doing this. Check this out, guys. I'm going to be a part of a special event August 28th, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The local and national elections drawing near, we dive into the historical significance of voting and also bring in some experts to discuss and discover if it is possible to make our votes more powerful. Okay? You'll be able to comment and ask questions live with the panel as we enjoy some games, interesting facts, and a chance to win a $300 airline gift card, folks. You want to be here for this? That's right. They're giving away valuable $300 gift card, okay? So it's an online experience. You ain't got to travel to go to this. It's free. Did y'all hear me say it? It's free. So be there. Dr. Robert Greene, Calvin Michaels, Political Sis, and myself, we're going to be there, and we're going to rock it. It's going to be about 2 hours long. BlackAmericanHistory.org. BlackAmericanHistory.org. BlackAmericanHistory.org.